2 weeks before the wedding, I was in a car accident. The car caught fire. I suffered severe burns. My fiancé said he couldn't accept a disfigured wife. He proposed to replace me with my stepsister. When I was at my lowest, my childhood sweetheart, who is also a psychologist, always stood by me. He patiently encouraged me. He also accompanied me through multiple skin graft surgeries. He threw me a grand wedding, so the whole world could witness our happiness. However, after the skin graft surgery, the effects of the anesthetic gradually wore off. I slowly regained consciousness, and at that moment, I heard my childhood sweetheart make a heartfelt confession to my stepsister. I've always only seen her as a replacement for you. The only person I've truly loved in my life is you. Didn't you say she's been bullying you since you were little? That's really despicable. I've secretly replaced the skin she grafted onto you with pigskin to take revenge for you. I left in disappointment, but then he went crazy and looked for me everywhere. I had just come round from the anesthetic. I heard a familiar voice. I was about to call out honey, but the next words that came out of my mouth cut my heart like a knife. At the door of the hospital room, Liam said to Sophia with deep feeling, "Sophia, you probably don't know. Every time I eat with her, I feel very uncomfortable. You are the only one I truly love. Just to be on the safe side, I had her take the pill to be sterilized. Now her womb is sterile. She will never be able to bear my child in this lifetime." Sophia said with a smile, "You are already married. Although she is not attractive, she is still your wife. If she knows that you have never loved her, she may be very sad." Liam, however, seemed to care nothing about it. Her life is worthless. It would be better if she died. I have already bought her a high-value insurance policy. Once I receive the compensation, I'll buy Sophia a new dress. Her life has bought Sophia a smile. She has done something good after all. I pinched my fingers hard, trying to figure out if I was dreaming. The pain in my palm made me realize it was all real. Those hurtful words, they were all said by Liam. I once thought Liam was my savior. Just one day before our wedding, my car suddenly lost control. It crashed into a bridge pier. I passed out on the spot. When I woke up, the car was already on fire. I was trapped in the car and unable to move. The flames disfigured my face beyond recognition. Although I was rescued, my skin was irreparably damaged. The youngest Johnson's son didn't want to marry me in the first place. After hearing that I was disfigured, he went on a hunger strike, saying that he didn't want to marry me. My stepsister Sophia went to the Johnson family personally to plead for me. Unexpectedly, the young master of the Johnson family fell in love with her at first sight. As a result, the marriage partner changed from me to Sophia. My disfigured face was useless to the Johnson family. They felt ashamed of me and kicked me out. I completely failed. Just when I felt that life was full of darkness, Liam tightly embraced me, who was covered in scars, and whispered to me apart from my appearance, "I have other good qualities. I shouldn't give up on myself." His eyes were full of concern. He comforted me patiently over and over again. "If the Johnson family won't accept you, then I want you. I will give you a home, so that you will never be hurt again." They treated the pearl like a fisheye, but a pearl is still a pearl even if it is covered in dust. It's them who don't know how to appreciate it. Liam stayed by my side the whole time, cheering me on. He helped me find a plastic surgeon for my skin graft surgery, and he told me, even if I can't look like my old self again, he will still love me. His love is very firm, so firm that it made me not care about what other people think. But, now he says, he never loved me. He only married me because he was afraid that I would affect Sophia's status. He even insulted me with the harshest words, just to please the woman he really likes. I said, on the day of the wedding, why did he burst into tears uncontrollably from the sidelines? His eyes vaguely looked in the direction where Sophia was. I thought they were tears of joy. In fact, they were tears of sadness because he couldn't marry the woman he loved. I had a car accident. It was because Sophia called to tell me that someone was picking on her at the bar. I rushed to help her. In retrospect, something was really wrong with the car that day. How could it suddenly lose control and catch fire? This accident is probably related to Sophia. The Johnson family is not satisfied with Sophia. They think I am highly educated and capable. Unlike Sophia, whose degree was bought by the Johnson family, In comparison, they feel that I can better help Johnson manage the company. Liam is afraid that things have changed. He married me to keep me close, so that I will not compete with his beloved woman for anything. The funny thing is, I am immersed in this false affection, and I enjoy it. I clench my lips. I don't let myself cry out. The two people outside the door are still whispering, "Shoo, don't make too much noise. She should wake up soon." Liam walks into the room. His face is full of concern, as if he wasn't the one who just now found me disgusting. He looks a little uncomfortable. "Emma, when did you wake up? Why are your eyes red?" he asks. "I just woke up. After the operation. My eyes still hurt a little." He smiled naturally. He gently touched the gauze on my face. "It might be a normal reaction after surgery. Emma, after this recovery is complete, the burn marks on your face should not be too obvious. By then, let's go take some wedding photos again." I had injuries on my face, so we didn't take wedding photos when we got married. Liam promised me, "After my face is better, we will definitely take some photos again." If I hadn't heard him say it myself, I would have been really touched by his thoughtfulness and consideration. He saw that I wasn't in a good mood, so he tried to ask me, "Honey, Sophia was here just now. She wanted to see you." I said you were resting, so she left. She said she'll come back some other time to see you at home. I forced a smile. "Your sister is here. Why don't you invite her in for a while? You just let her go." Liam finally relaxed. He gently took my hand, and said with a smile, "I don't want any outsiders to disturb our time together. Every time your sister comes over, you just want to talk to her. You completely ignore me. Do you still have me as your husband in your heart?" I suppressed the nausea in my stomach, and nodded. After I got out of the hospital and returned home, Liam continued to cook for me every day. The eggs he fried were all heart-shaped. I also received messages from him in my phone. "Emma, I'm going to work. You rest at home. Your face will definitely recover as before. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. If it were normal, I would definitely feel especially happy. But now, I just feel a coldness in my heart." In order to secure the position of his beloved woman, he went to great lengths to keep a woman he didn't love. His love was truly selfless. How great! I was about to draft the divorce agreement, but suddenly the computer broke down. I went into the study and opened Liam's computer. He had told me before not to touch his computer, because it contained patient data, which no one else should see. I understood the nature of his work, so I never thought much about it. The computer prompted me to enter a password to log in. I tried many times, but none of them were correct. Then, I tried entering Sophia's birthday. After the computer was unlocked, I noticed a strange folder. I was curious and opened it. Inside were photos of Sophia from childhood to adulthood. There were thousands of them, even side shots from almost the same angle. Liam had carefully taken many of them. The record also mentioned some of Sophia's preferences. There was also a video of her wedding. Liam's sad, low voice was also recorded. "Sophia, you got married today. You really look beautiful. I wish so much that I was the groom. I will be your protector. No one will ever be able to take you away from me. For you, I would do anything. Even if you ask me to get close to someone I don't like, I will do my best. You are the only person I have ever loved. The most important place in my heart will always be reserved for you. This will never change. As long as you are happy, it doesn't matter what happens to me." Hearing this, I finally understood why Liam didn't want me to touch this computer. It contained all his love. It recorded the heartbeats of his entire youth. I was willing to give all my love and care, but this feeling never really belonged to me, not even for a moment. I recalled the night of the accident. I was badly burned in the fire. When I was taken to the hospital, I was unrecognizable. My clothes were stuck to my flesh. I couldn't separate them. The pain was so intense. It often woke me up at night. I developed serious psychological problems. I was afraid Liam would find out, so I kept it from him. I went to the hospital in secret. However, as a psychologist, he didn't notice anything unusual about the person closest to him. As expected, pretended love cannot be hidden. I was so stupid. I only noticed the problem now. I organized the videos of my previous competitions and sent them to the foreign modeling agency that had always wanted to sign me. I also told them about my current physical condition. I should wake up from the dream woven by false affection. My mother-in-law asked Liam to take me back to the old house. At the dinner table, my mother-in-law started to make trouble. Your skin. After so long of treatment, it should be almost fine by now. You two are not young anymore. It's time to consider having a child. If you're worried that having a child will affect your figure, there are still many women who are willing to bear Liam's children. Stop making excuses to delay. I feel cold all over. I already told Liam. Let's talk about it when I'm better. But how did he tell his mother? How did it become that I'm looking for excuses to delay? Liam's phone suddenly rang. Sophia's angry voice came from the other end of the line. Carter, this irresponsible person actually has another woman on the side. As soon as Liam heard this, he immediately stood up, fists clenched, angrily. Sophia, where are you? I'll come and get you. When Sophia arrived, the matriarch immediately became warm and welcoming. Sophia's here. Auntie's missed you. When you were little, you used to come and play at Auntie's house. Now you're all grown up. We've grown apart. The matriarch was especially warm and welcoming towards Sophia, as if she were the real daughter-in-law. Liam didn't feel anything unusual about this. The Johnson family and the Liam family were both originally in business. In Liam's generation, he had no interest in business. Instead, he liked psychology. He later became a psychologist. Therefore, Liam's family's business has always been managed by others. The three of us grew up together, but I don't usually like to go out. Sophia knows more about Liam's family. Grandma took Sophia's hand. With a look of regret on her face, she said, Auntie used to hope that you could be my daughter-in-law. Unexpectedly, Liam was soft-hearted. Seeing Emma's burns and feeling sorry for her, he took her back home. Unexpectedly, she never got pregnant. I heard you already had 2 children. What a blessing. Sophia looked at me proudly and said, my sister has had so many operations and taken so many medicines. I wonder if it will affect her fertility. Before going to bed, Liam went to the guest room to see Sophia. Sophia said to him, Liam, I really regret it now. When I went to your house today, when I met your mother, I was thinking, if I married you, your mother would treat me like her own daughter. Unlike that Johnson family woman, her son did something wrong. I asked her to discipline him, but she blamed me for not being able to keep a man. And that Carter guy, he's been seeing someone else on the side. I didn't want to make a fuss, but he even brought her home. I saw Liam take Sophia in his arms. His face was full of worry. He said, don't worry. I'll definitely go and ask Carter what's going on. Since he married you, why doesn't he cherish you? I'll definitely support you. Liam was about to leave. Sophia wrapped her arms around her waist and said with a tearful voice, will you fall in love with Emma? If that happens, no one will love me anymore. Don't go. Stay with me. Auntie also wants me to be her daughter-in-law. Let's be husband and wife for one night tonight, okay? Liam suddenly forgot. He promised me that he would come back to be with me in half an hour. He tightly grasped Sophia's hand, excitedly asked, Sophia, are you serious? Sophia didn't answer. Instead, she kissed him directly. Liam happily picked her up in his arms. Sophia, I'm so happy. Do you know, I've always dreamed that one day you'll accept me. He carefully helped Sophia take off her clothes, treating her with the respect due a goddess. Sophia spoke in an innocent tone on purpose, trying to provoke Liam. Brother-in-law, if my sister finds out, she won't be angry, will she? Liam's eyes suddenly turned red. His movements became more forceful. No. What is she? Not even a single hair on our Sophia is worth a single hair on her. All night long, Liam didn't come home. At breakfast, my mother-in-law and I knew exactly what had happened last night. Sophia's voice was loud. They hadn't closed the door properly. As soon as Sophia came downstairs, my mother-in-law's gaze fell on her stomach. She gave a satisfied smile. Sophia, you've worked hard. Eat more to nourish your body. Sophia's face flushed slightly. She gave Liam a little tap. It's all your fault. Now everyone knows. After breakfast, I was about to leave alone. Sophia quickly caught up to me. A triumphant smile spread across her face, as if she had just won a victory. Sister, you're not angry with me, are you? Liam has liked me for so long, but I let him go to you. I hope you can find happiness. But after so many years, he still only likes me. Last night, I said expressionlessly. Sophia, do you feel a sense of accomplishment for meddling in other people's relationships? Are you feeling particularly pleased with yourself right now? Sophia was unmasked. She felt ashamed and angry. She said angrily, "It's all your own fault for not being attractive." Liam has already said it. He feels uncomfortable when he sees all those scars on you. He feels nothing at all. Why do you think he turns off the lights every time he touches you? Isn't it because he imagines it's me? What are you so pleased about? Ever since you were little, in the end, they all end up liking me. Apart from your grades, what can you compare with me? I was just about to argue back when Liam rushed over and pushed me to the ground. If you have any complaints, come at me directly. Last night was my initiative. It has nothing to do with Sophia. Liam pulled Sophia behind him and stared at me warily. My hand was pressed against the gravel. Blood was coming out. A flash of pity crossed Liam's eyes. I'm not sure if he was just acting, or if it was a reflex, or if he really felt sorry for me. But his next words completely shattered my unrealistic fantasies. He said, "Every day I have to face your ugly face and pretend to love you. You've enjoyed the benefits for so many years. What more do you want? This is all a favor from Sophia. Otherwise, do you think any man would really like you?" I laughed coldly. Liam froze. Then he said indifferently, "So, you don't think I'm worthy of bearing your children, and you lied to me about the poison, telling me it was a skin treatment." That's right. One should know one's place. As long as you stop opposing Sophia, you can still be the stable Mrs. Liam. After he finished speaking, he dragged Sophia away. I drove home. I burned all the post-it notes I had treasured like my life. I was so grateful. After all that had happened, I had found a husband who loved me so much. In the flames, I remembered every day of the past. Every morning, he had carefully prepared breakfast for me, and written encouraging words to cheer me up. However, it was all a lie. I had nothing to hold on to anymore. The next day, Liam came home, and found the computer in the study was on. The screen displayed the divorce agreement. Liam's face suddenly turned very pale. He said, "Emma, if you dare to divorce me, with your current appearance, besides me, which man will accept you?" He said angrily, "I have played along with you for so long, and you just leave whenever you want. It's not that simple." Then he went crazy, and drove straight to the Johnson family to demand her hand in marriage. "Have you hidden Emma from me? I'll tell you this. She is now my wife. You have no right to deny me the right to see her." Sophia's mother, Rachel, opened her eyes wide in surprise. "What, Emma? His lordship has long since severed ties with her. You've come to the wrong place, I'm afraid. You're the one who's interested in my Sophia, aren't you? Emma's gone. What are you doing here?" "Liam, calm down. That's right. Emma will never come back. You abandoned her in her time of need without a second thought. She's filled with resentment towards you. How could she possibly come back?" Liam had searched for a day and a night. Exhausted, he slumped to the ground. Then he suddenly remembered something. He hurried to the computer. He said excitedly, "You opened the photos of Sophia I saved. Emma, are you jealous? You blame me for still thinking about someone else after I got married. But Sophia is already married. There is no way between her and me. What are you worried about?" Liam took a deep breath. He said, "They say that what happens in the movies happens in real life. We have been together for so many years. How could I not have any feelings for you? I was going to bury my feelings for Sophia deep in my heart. Concentrate on living with you. Have you forgotten? We said we would take wedding photos together. I booked it a long time ago. I'm just waiting to take you there." Liam has been going to work as normal these past few days. He is convinced that I will be back soon. Back to him. However, his confidence is gradually fading. He is often distracted at work. He is easily distracted. The dean suggested that he go home and rest for a while. However, when he got home, he found my shadow everywhere in the house. Liam and I have collected some dolls together. We used them to make a wall of dolls. He remembered what I had said before. So many toys. When we have a child, we won't have to buy any more. Liam, do you think we will have a son or a daughter? I heard that if the father exercises a lot, it's more likely to be a girl. I want a daughter. You should go to the gym more after work. Liam touched the wall of dolls. Tears filled his eyes. He had only just realized what he had lost. Emma, what have I done wrong? You love children so much. You always look at them when you meet them on the street. But I've taken away your chance to become a mother. Liam dialed the familiar number again and again. But the phone's prompt changed from the user is busy to the user does not exist, because I had cancelled my mobile number near the airport. Liam whispered, "You're right to hate me. You're right." Just as he said that, his phone suddenly rang. He sat up immediately. He couldn't wait to answer the call. "Emma, where have you been lately? I've been looking for you for days." The person on the other end of the line paused. Her voice was full of grievance. "It's Sophia. Don't you recognize my number anymore?" "Liam, what's wrong with you lately? I heard from your friends at the hospital. You haven't been to work for a few days. They also said you had a fight with your wife. Did Emma leave because she was angry?" Liam frowned when he received the call. "Sophia, is there something you need?" Sophia sobbed into the phone. "Liam, Carter has cheated on me again. This time he is determined to divorce me. What should I do? If I get kicked out of the Johnson family after the divorce, my mother will definitely scold me." Liam held the phone tightly and said in a low voice, "All these years, you've only ever come to me when you need something. You never think of me. Did you call me on my birthday? Did you visit me when I was sick?" "Sophia, you're not a child anymore. Can't you solve your own problems? I have my own things to do, and a family to look after. I'm not your maid to be summoned whenever you like." After Liam had finished complaining and angrily threw the phone on the floor, he completely ignored Sophia's crying and accusations. He said he had changed his mind. Then, Liam carefully checked the wardrobe. "I found the clothes he bought for me. I didn't take any of them with me. Even the anniversary gifts he gave me. I kept them all exactly as they were." In the corner of the wardrobe, he found a small box he had never seen before. Liam opened the box and saw a sweater that had not yet been knitted. The sweater had 2 cartoon characters holding hands. They looked lively and cute. His hands were a little shaky. Slowly, he took the sweater out. "Emma, is this the gift you were going to give me? I really like it." He buried his face in the sweater and cried softly. "I was the one who made myself unhappy. In fact, I fell in love with you long ago without knowing it. I was just too stupid. I've just realized it now. Meanwhile, I've managed to sign with the world's most famous modeling agency. After that, I took part in fashion show after fashion show. I did well in every one of them. I never dared to think about these things before. After the burns, I became very self-conscious about my appearance. I didn't even want to leave the house. I spent all day locked in that tiny room, but I always remembered how much I missed those moments of shining on the stage. That was the life I really longed for. Not as Liam's wife, waiting every day for him to come home from work." The foreign assistant shouted excitedly, "Emma, you were fantastic just now. You captured the essence of the collection perfectly. The organizers were particularly impressed with your style. They look forward to working with you again in the future." I nodded, finally plucking up the courage to ask the question that had been nagging at the back of my mind. The assistant asked with a puzzled expression, "Do they really not mind my scars?" "How could they? Your catwalk performance was top-notch. The scars on your body are as beautiful as butterflies. They add a deep sense of emotion to the work. It's the finishing touch. No one else can wear your style. Emma, you are unique. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. There's a catwalk competition in half a month. I've signed you up. You just need to practice hard." I almost burst into tears. I used to feel like I had a physical defect. I didn't deserve to be on stage. However, the stage gave me a chance. It made me realize that my charm is not diminished by my scars. When I crossed the ocean to a faraway place, I was a little worried. I might not be able to adapt to life here. Because of a moment of impulse, I might have to bear the consequences. I was afraid of being looked down upon because of my inadequacies. My career might not go smoothly, but in fact, none of these worries have come true. On the contrary, I have gained an unprecedented level of respect here. Liam did not show any sympathy or pity for what happened to me. On the contrary, he looked at me with admiration. He said, "Emma, you are really strong. You have a unique temperament. We all admire you." I later learned that the assistant had entered me in the most prestigious competition in the world. I trained every day. I wanted to perfect every movement. If you work hard, you can succeed. I stood on the stage. I could hear the audience gasping in awe. I had expected this. I had done quite well. After the performance, I went backstage to change. I was about to leave when someone suddenly grabbed my arm. I turned around. It was Liam, whom I hadn't seen for a long time. Liam had lost a lot of weight, but his eyes were still bright and strong. I hadn't thought about him for a long time. I've had a full life. I never thought I'd see this familiar face again in a foreign country. My heart doesn't feel anything. Emma, it really is you. I've finally found you. I saw the poster at the entrance. I almost didn't recognize you. You've changed so much. You know what? Your videos are really popular back home. Many people say you have the most potential as a model. Do you know how proud I am when I see them praising you like that? I gently pulled my hand back. This has nothing to do with you, right? I remember I have already sued for divorce. Liam listened to me. His eyes instantly turned red. How could it have nothing to do with you? You are my wife. I will not accept a divorce. It is useless for you to sue. You will always be my wife. I really couldn't help it. I raised my hand and slapped him. Liam, are you acting now? You really have had enough. You've put yourself through all this for Sophia. You married me, even though I was disfigured. But now I'm abroad. I won't compete with your Sophia. You don't have to put yourself through all this anymore. What are you doing with that soulful look? What's the point? Liam's tears keep falling. He panics and rummages through his bag. Finally, he finds a sweater. He takes it out and says to Emma, "You knitted this for me. Do you remember? I imitated your technique. I finally finished knitting the sweater, but the second half isn't very good. Can you help me fix it?" He handed the sweater over like a treasure. I casually threw it in the trash. He froze for a moment. "Hurry up and look in the trash," I shouted. "That's enough. Don't look. You and this sweater. I don't like either of them. Understand?" At this time, the security guards heard the commotion. They hurried over. They asked me what had happened. I pointed at Liam and said, "A homeless person has come in. Please take him away." The security guards pulled Liam hard towards the exit, but Liam was still struggling desperately. He shouted at me, "Emma, I really know I was wrong. I truly love you. Sophia was just a fixation from my younger days. You're the one I really want to spend the rest of my life with." Liam came to see me many times. I didn't open the door. I just told people to get rid of him. I heard that my father was seriously ill, so I returned to the country. Looking at the Johnson family mansion, I felt very strange. I didn't have any problems. I saw my father very soon. "Emma, you're back. I'm sorry. I listened to Sophia and her mother. They said you were unlucky. The fire was punishment from God. Staying at home would affect the Johnson family's business. As a result, when you were so badly injured, you were driven away." Sophia and her mother, they only cared about my money. They wished I would leave sooner. Recently, I have been dreaming about your mother a lot. She said I didn't take care of you. I really regret it. My father transferred all his assets to my name. I accepted it as a matter of course, because my mother also had a share in it. Later, my father died. Sophia and her daughter were completely shocked when they read the will. They discovered that there was no longer any property in my father's name. After some investigation, they learned that I had returned to the Johnson family. Rachel came to see me in a rage. She looked very angry. She said, The old man has disowned you. How did you make him transfer all his property to you? I have been with him for so many years. In the end, I didn't get a penny. Sophia said angrily. Give me my money back immediately, otherwise I won't let you go. You've become a supermodel now. Advertisers are waiting in line for you to shoot commercials. A lot of money is waiting for you to earn. Why do you have to come back and fight for the family property? What's the point? Everything is yours. Even Carter said. He regrets that he didn't marry you in the first place. I stared at Sophia and sneered. Don't forget, you were never Dad's real daughter. You really think changing your surname to Johnson will make you part of the Johnson family? I remember. Isn't your real father still in prison? Sophia accused me, so angry she couldn't speak. Before leaving, she threw down a challenge. We'll see who laughs last. I took the money my father gave me and started a clothing brand. I was the model myself. That night, after finishing up at the office, I was on my way home. Halfway there, Liam, drunk as a skunk, stopped me. He was so drunk he didn't know what was going on. Emma, don't go, okay? After saying that, he just collapsed in the street. I was worried that something would happen if he just lay there, so I helped him into the car and planned to take him home. When we got downstairs, I parked the car and tried to help him out, but I realized I couldn't move him at all. So I got out of the car and went to the security guard's office. I wanted to ask the security guard for help. When I returned to the car with the security guard, the car was already on fire. The fire spread. Several cars next to it were also set on fire. The fire extinguishers we had on hand were completely useless. The security guard quickly called the fire department. Then he told the woman, "Please stand back a little. The car may explode. It's too dangerous. There's nothing I can do. I can only hope the firefighters will come quickly." Inside the car, Liam let out a pained cry. "Help! Someone help! Help! Ah!" Fortunately, before the explosion, Liam managed to open the car door and escape in time. After several days of emergency treatment, he finally pulled through. In the hospital, Liam lay in his bed with gauze all over his body. He tried to sit up, but felt as if his lower body was missing. He looked terrified and quickly lifted the blanket. "My legs. Where are my legs?" I gently reassured him. "Your legs were badly burned. In order to save your life, we had to amputate them." Liam's mother rushed to the hospital. When she saw Liam's injuries, she couldn't hold back her tears and fainted. She said firmly, "I've checked the security footage. Someone started the fire deliberately. Don't worry, I'll find out who did it." There's something else I haven't told you. Liam suffered serious injuries to his lower body in the fire. He may never be able to be a man again. The security footage shows a bald man. He poured alcohol under the car and lit a match. Then he left. He probably thought there was someone in the car because the headlights were on. When I saw the man at the police station, I felt that he looked familiar. Who does he look like? It suddenly occurred to me. This man looks a lot like Sophia. I only set the fire because I thought it would be funny. It had nothing to do with my daughter. Whatever you want to do to me, I'll accept it. I've been in prison for so many years anyway. Going back there will be like going home. I suddenly understood. Sophia's father thinks I've taken his daughter's inheritance. That's why he tried to burn me to death. All this. Sophia was probably behind it. But Sophia's father took all the blame and let Sophia off the hook completely. I went back to the hospital. Liam had fallen to the floor. Liam's mother saw him. She cried out in distress. "If you need to go to the bathroom, just call me. Why did you get out of bed by yourself?" Liam was crying and laughing at the same time. He was so mixed up. He said, "Am I going to be a person with limited mobility for the rest of my life?" Liam saw me coming. He gritted his teeth and said angrily, "What the hell is going on? Who set the fire and locked the car door? This is obviously an attempt on my life. When did I offend someone so extreme?" I confessed everything. He is Sophia's biological father. When he was young, he made a mistake. He divorced Sophia's mother. He was just released from prison recently. He wanted to get back at me. He felt that I was getting in the way of Sophia's development. He couldn't have done this for no reason. I don't know what Sophia told him, but he has already admitted it. He said it was an impulse. It had nothing to do with his daughter. Liam pounded on his unconscious lower body, screaming in pain. "Sophia has been causing trouble at my company. She's been questioning me." "Emma, My father is in prison again because of you. Don't you owe me an explanation? I sneered. He wants to kill me, and I have to compensate his daughter. I asked the bodyguard to escort her out, but she kept making a racket downstairs. You're really heartless. Why didn't you get into the car accident? Now you've taken the house away and kicked my mother out. How are you going to let us live? Carter and Sophia have divorced. The two children are raised by the Johnson family. Sophia lives with her mother. After Sophia's father set the fire, I asked them to move out. I will not take care of my enemies anymore. The accident happened so suddenly. A car slammed into Sophia. It knocked her more than 10 meters away. When I ran downstairs, Liam had already opened the car door. He smiled at me. I don't know where he got this modified car. It seems he was determined to deal with Sophia. His voice came from the wind. He pointed at his wrist and said, "When I was a child, I fell into the pool. I didn't expect you to save me. I always thought it was Sophia. I followed her for so many years. Now that I think back, she was so calculating. How could she have saved me? The one who saved me was you. But I have been hurting you all this time. Let me protect you for the last time." The jade bracelet my mother left me. I accidentally broke it when I saved Liam, revealing that scar. I didn't plan to ask for repayment with kindness, but unexpectedly, Liam recognized me. He wanted to get rid of Sophia, so that she would not continue to do me harm. When the police arrived, he didn't put up any resistance. "Emma, I owe you my life. You don't need to feel sorry for me." Later, I heard that Sophia died in the rescue. Liam was sentenced to death for intentional homicide. The assistant's words interrupted my thoughts. He said, "Emma, all the costumes for this show are ready. Do you want to take a look?" After leaving that unsuccessful marriage, my luck seemed to have changed for the better. My career is going particularly well. My clothing brand is well known.